guys, welcome back. This podcast is all about helping you to make a better and smarter property move, especially if you're a homeowner or planning to become one soon. I'm going to help you in that. So, my name is Justin, and today we're going to talk about something very practical, which is a guide for all homeowners. Whether if you are buying for your own stay or looking for investment, there are a lot of small details that can make a very big difference. So let's break it down today in the real context and localize so that we are all able to understand. So before we start, if you find today's episode very helpful or you like the show, kindly follow, like, share or subscribe, or even tell anyone nearby you, like your parents, your friends who are interested in it. Let them know about it. And if you have any topic in mind, feel free to let me know as well. So before we go on and start off with today's topic, I'm going to share about a little bit personal stuff about myself. So when I got my own house, right, when I was looking to a flat, I got my own HDB, so I went to a five room flat, and I was thinking of buying one for my family stay, for like my wife, and then in the future when my kids and all, some place for us to stay, be close to my parents and all. But eventually somehow I got lost in the way, and I keep thinking about why is my asset not appreciating? What's the next move? And that's where I get very confused between own stay and investment. So come back to now as an agent, I like to share this with you guys. So first thing first, when you look into a listing or even walk into a show flat, you must be clear on what are you buying and why are you buying. So like what I mentioned earlier on, there are two basic categories. One are for own stay, meaning that you're buying for yourself or somewhere for your family to live in. Or second category will be the investment aspect, when you're buying a place to grow your wealth or maybe rent it out or to sell it for profit. But like I mentioned earlier on in my own personal story, when the lines got very blurred, right, you'll end up along the way thinking like, hey, I'm buying for own stay, but then will this place appreciate or not? Why is the value this low? Why am I not gaining $1 million HDB like others? So there's nothing wrong in whatever choices you make, just that your goal determines your decision. If it's for own stay, you should prioritize comfort and convenience. But if it's for investment, you might want to prioritize your returns and numbers. So let's be clear on which side you stand, because every step from budget to location is all depending on that. Okay, so if you're buying for own stay, here's the main thing. You are choosing a place for your lifestyle, not just a property. So let's talk about what are the aspects that you should look out for, what are the factors. Firstly, it'll be your location and accessibility. In Singapore, everything is about convenience. Where you want to do your daily work, your daily routine, sending kids to school, your market, your parents' place, everything. So ideally, it'll be like within distance of MRT station or major bus route, bus interchange for example. Secondly, will be your amenities and food. We as Singaporeans, we are very practical. A lot of people that I spoke to, we like to somewhere that is close to supermarket, hawker center, because these are easy place where we can get all our needs settled. So you might not want to even drive, just walk to a certain place within distance. Thirdly will be your noise, your facing and layout. When you view a unit, right, don't just look at the design, the renovation. You also have to look what are the facing. Is it west sun? Is it facing the expressway? Is it facing the primary school? Because primary school, like bells sing national anthem every morning. These are small things that might affect your daily life, especially if you work from home. Okay, so the fourth factor will be the floor plans. So a lot of people, right, when they go into fancy show flats and then when they visit a resale unit, they're always being caught by the fancy renovation design. But in real life, right, where after going to a show flat, you got your unit, right, it's actually just bare with like white walls and all. And when you buy one from resale, right, most of the items that are not fixed to the wall is movable are all be removed by the home seller. So when it comes to that, right, don't be shocked. So what most importantly, right, instead of the renovation and the outlook, right, you should actually focus more on the layout. What kind of layout suit your lifestyle? If you cook often, maybe a kitchen with better ventilation. Is it accessible or smoother to the dining area? If you work from home, maybe you want to look at places where like you can make an extra study area or convert the extra room. Last but not least is the future transformation. Don't just see what is there now, see what's coming. So if you're not too sure, right, you can actually check through a URA master plan, or you can engage your favorite agent to find what are the development coming along, what are the changes along the way as well, and what is the future planning the government have in mind. Because this can improve whatever convenience and long-term value of your house. So To sum it short, don't overstretch yourself financially. Just because the bank can lend to you doesn't mean you should borrow to the max. Always keep some buffer, at least 6 months of mortgage payment, because when life happens, job change, interest rate goes up, don't let home become your stress. Okay, now for those who are thinking about investment, the mindset must switch a bit. So when you're looking to buy for investment, it's not about wow, nice big balcony, it's all about the numbers. So firstly, you look at the entry price. The most important factor when you buy high, even the best location, right, it can't save you. So you should check the past transaction, what's the rental yield, and compare with nearby projects. Exit strategy. Ask yourself who will buy from you subsequently in the future. Will it be other upgraders, big family, investor, or even tenants? If you can't see who is the next buyer, that is a very big red flag. The third factor will be rental demand. If you plan to get the house and then you plan to rent out for passive income, you have to find out what's the profile of the tenant around the area. For example, if you're near One North Business District Park, your tenant pool will likely be those working in the tech industry, your expat crowds. So these are some of the places where you can think about. Fourth will be your transformation potential. Along with upcoming MRTs or commercial projects such as in Tengah, Punggol District, Jurong Lake District. So these are some of the areas that are coming up, which you might see a longer appreciation in long run. Lastly, will be the holding power. Always have cash flow to hold you through the different market cycles. Property prices don't always go up in a straight line, because basically property prices, right, they don't go up in a straight line. It should be in some different waveform, some higher, some lower, some might deep, some might be stagnant a while. So by having the holding power, right, you tie you through all the different process till you earn and harvest your profit. Okay, so the bottom line is for investment, right, it's always logic first, emotion later. Now at this part, right, it's actually very important. Whether for own stay or for investment, these are some of the must-know factor for everyone in Singapore. Firstly, is your loan eligibility. For HDB buyers, right, get your HFE done early. Because it will tell you how much loan, how much grant, and what type of flat you're qualified for. For private property, right, you can always look to getting your IPA, which is your in principle approval from the bank. Do not wait until getting your dream house, then you realize you cannot afford. Okay, so the next factor will be your buyer's stamp duty and also your upfront cash. Many people forget about that factor because, for example, you take a 1 million property, right? That's nearly 40K in terms of BSD, and that has to be paid upfront in cash and claimed later through CPF. So if you're buying a second property, additional buyer's stamp duty as well, more top up. So you have to do all this calculation carefully. The third factor to share about is your cash flow management. Don't just think about your down payment. You also need cash for your legal fee, your renovation, your furniture, future maintenance, and your property tax. Fourth will be your timeline. So if you're planning to sell and buy at the same time, plan your move properly. You might need a temporary stay, or you might want to find somewhere to buck in for a while or some interim house for the time being. This is not very technical, but it's also super important. Don't rush in whatever things that you plan to do. Don't let the FOMO or people to pressure you into getting a deal. Sometimes when you speak to your friends or your relatives or someone you know, everybody have different mindset and they try to pressure you into a best deal that you do not want to take. Remember, property is a long-term game. What most importantly is your ability to hold it comfortably, and it's not about whether you like to buy it fast or not. So if you're currently still planning your next move, maybe deciding to upgrade, downsizing, or investment, and you want a clearer breakdown of your option, feel free to reach out or drop me a message. Sometimes a proper check will just give you more knowledge for you to avoid lesser years of stress. So in conclusion, if you're buying for comfort or capital gain, just remember, clarity is power. Knowing your intention, knowing your numbers, and always think long term. Alright guys, thanks for tuning. Hope to see you next week. If you like this episode, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next one.